I used to believe that logic and respect are best friends. So as long as I am logical, I will be respected. It's a simple math. So subconsciously, every single time I'm having a conversation, it made sense for me to try to help them understand the logic behind every decision I made. So over explaining was excused. Trying to overcompensate was excused because I just needed them to get to the logic bit where as soon as they see the logic behind my decision making, and my respect is now intact. I need you to understand something. That is literally one of the worst ways to protect respect. And this is why you're watching a video like this today. The fact that you're losing control under pressure, and because it's almost like you're drowning and you feel like the anchor or the thing that's going to save you is logic, you're drowning even further. The answer isn't logic. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to navigate the space so that this doesn't happen to you again. So my name is Mac Dole, and I'm an author, speaker, consultant. I help men and women understand how to stop the chaos that's affecting them internally so that they can show up authentically and live the lives that they deserve to live. And what I want to basically say here is that before I got here, I need you to understand that this isn't coming from a perfect guy that just had everything figured out. No. A lot of my lessons came from my mistakes, very, very heavy mistakes that cost me a lot. Some in the 6-figure level and some in terrible heartbreaks, terrible heart grief. But the benefits of pain is that it forces you to change the narrative. So the reason why I'm able to stand here and tell you what I done differently is because what I went through was so painful that I had to figure out a way how to never experience that again. Okay? So where you're probably at now is you are listened to when you're logical. You are listened to when people can agree with you. And as long as you provide, you solve problems, and your inner child basically has this subconscious belief, and I keep referring to the subconscious because that's a very big part of it, all right? And the subconscious belief says, listen, in order for us to be loved, we need to be useful. Things are going to be fine, right? So as long as you feel useful, this is why you can go overboard, because it's like, oh, if I'm even more useful here, I can get more love. So we created this dynamic as children, you name it. And that's another thing. Every adult has a child within, and your stability stems from how well that child is taken care of, right? So if that child is not taken care of, then you're very unstable, especially under pressure, because that's when it shows up. It's almost like a mix between this aggressive dog and this gentle space, just like a child. Like, children, they're very, if they're angry or they don't have that they can be terrible people, right? Because the morality isn't instilled yet, so they don't have a concept of right and wrong. So they could do horrible things if they're not guided properly. But they're also so innocent and gentle, and that's exactly what's currently running inside of you. And the moment you ignore it, the moment you don't pay attention to it, the moment you just disregard it, what you're doing is you're subconsciously creating an enemy in your own camp that you're refusing to acknowledge. So this person's allowed to roam free, destroy everything you're building, and there's nothing you're going to do about it, because in your head, it's just how things are. Under pressure, the reason why your tone changes, the reason why you speed up, the reason why you defend or you justify is because you created this invisible transaction that says they need to see me in a logical manner. They need to understand that what I'm doing makes sense. And if they don't see that, then we've got a problem. I need you to understand that the goal is never to be logical. The goal is always to be authentic. So it's not about you guys reaching the common ground, like you've been told. No. The goal is I was true to myself here. I can rest in knowing that how I was perceived was exactly how I intended to be perceived. And it's not because how you perceived is based on the action that you're expecting from them, such as wow, you're such a good leader, or you're so useful, man, thanks. No. It's based on this. It's based on the fact that you looked at your tank, and I'm going to separate this. You've looked at your direct alternatives, right? And you've seen the indirect alternatives. You pick the direct alternatives, and you're satisfied with the outcome that you received in picking the direct alternatives. Now, the difference between the direct alternatives and the indirect alternatives is indirect alternatives are not based on you, out of your control, such as maybe like something socialist, right? So, for instance, you want to end the gender war. You need 8 million people to figure that out, right? Or you can just focus on this one person you want to find and just build with them, right? Necessarily you have to end the gender war, and it would be nice if it did. But again, when you now look at indirect alternatives, a lot of times they leave you miserable, out of control, frustrated, and simply, basically speaking here, put in a difficult position where you just don't want to be in, right? So to relate this all back to what is happening, I need you to understand this one thing. When you now, however, stick to, I just want people to see me as a logical person, what tends to happen is this. You get yourself into a space where now they're not attracted to you anymore. If you're speaking to the women, right? Wife, partners, girlfriends, whatever. You're trying to be logical here. Wait. I was right about this, right? I done what I was supposed to do. Or I said what you over-explain, right? Because getting to logic is the safe zone. You guys have equated logic with safety. That's never a good equation, because logic isn't safety. Let me break down logic. Logic is just threat detection, and it's basically saying this is the safest option. And the way your brain works in terms of safety is not what actually means safety out there. So when your brain says safety, what it's saying is familiar. And what it's also saying is that I have been able to predict this for a very long time. So I'm very comfortable with this. Comfort is the same thing to the brain as safety. So when you're now making the logical decision, a lot of times it's simply the comfortable decision. So in other words, you're thinking you're trying to be logical. So you're basically saying, as long as I'm comfortable, I'll be respected. The problem is the comfort definition you've got is not the one that you want. The comfort position you want is, I am calm. I am indifferent of the outcome. You guys can see me however you want to see me, and I'm going to be fine. But this is what I was trying to say. This is what I wanted to say, right? And it's not based on them trying to understand it. No, it's based on you being as simple and as clear as possible. Being independent of the outcome allows you to almost like set this low expectation of what you expect others to deliver to you, for you to feel calm. Why? Because you don't have an outcome. So however they react is completely up to them. What you want to focus on is what you and how you deliver it. Example, there's a misunderstanding. I can understand there was been a misunderstanding here. What can we do to rectify it? Or I am looking to get some clarity here. What do you reckon? How do you reckon we can get there? Right? Or there's just so many ways. But the point is this: instead of fighting for logic, the goal is, was I clear? Yes. Was I comfortable? What that means is, was I not reactive? Was I able to be calm in that environment without being attached to the outcome? So you replace logic with calm authority, I guess. Yeah. And change the definition of comfort with stability. And once you're able to do that, I promise you, your goal is no longer, I need to be seen as logical here. No, I need to be seen as stable. And you're not pretending to be stable. You're not trying to be stable. No, you're genuinely saying, what's the quickest way for me to get back to stability here, so that I can think clearly again? Right? So you replace logic with stability. And the reason why your brain will accept that is because over time, that's not going to turn into comfort, which means, in other words, your brain now feels comfortable in stability. This is exactly how I rewired my brain, right? So instead of utilizing logic as a way to handle things, I said, you know what, screw logic. I want to get back to stability. Stability, where are you? Okay, there you are. Stability. How do I latch on to that? Okay, I'm here now. Does that make sense? So once you change what your definition is and you start to work towards the definition you've reset, which is the recalibration bit, you're going to start to see how the same conversation that at some point used to ruin your day because they couldn't see where you were standing, now start to become these simple conversations where you can see, this is what they're missing. Okay, how can we help them with that? All right, and then there's so much more that goes into self-interest and psychology and the sort of full process that people have when it comes to decision. And I will make a video about that in terms of conversations or how to communicate better. But my point here is this: if you don't do this, I promise you, you're not only going to lose attraction, but you're also going to lose respect. And the reason why I'm saying that is very simple. The moment you start to add all these things to get something, you're signaling one thing and one thing alone: that you need something. You need them to see you as logic. You need them to see you as a good guy. You need them. And with need, the same way we thought logic comes with respect, need comes with a defense that stops people from being able to connect. Right? Why? Because it's quite simple. God, the universe, made it so that if you need something, genuinely need something, it's going to be the hardest thing for you to get. Why? Because you shouldn't need anything. And that's the trick. You go from, I don't need your approval, I don't need your outcome, and that's exactly how you get it. And it's easier said than done because your brain automatically goes into these spaces where you really want it. So it's not even fake until you make it. You need to become it without needing to see it. And that there is a shift that pushes all things aside. So in terms of practical steps now, for you to regain respect and attraction, you got to think of what made them attracted to you in the first place. Right? Were you ambitious? Were you driven? Did you lose that? Why did you lose that? How can you go about re-getting it? See, a lot of guys that come to me, I promise you, the thing is this. I need you to understand one thing. I get DMs regularly in regards to guys, women wanting to understand how to process certain things. And the question I've got for them is this: at what point are you going to realize that this may not last forever and you may need to go back into the marketplace, right? And as you go back to the marketplace, guess what? If you're not sharp, if you're not on track, they're probably gonna be repelled by you, or you may have to downgrade the opportunity you had once had access to. Why? Because you didn't upgrade yourself. Just because you're married, just because you're in a long-term relationship, doesn't mean you shouldn't work on yourself. Not just for the market, but for your partner. Your partner needs to feel like, oh my gosh, this person is becoming even better looking than when I met them. Don't just sit there and just relax and think, oh yeah, I've won. You haven't won anything. No one owes you anything. Your self-improvement, your desire to wanting to be better or different shouldn't be based on how people feel. It should be based on what you have decided your outcome should be. And like I said, it's not really about the how, it's about the who. So who's this person showing up? Are you an athlete? Are you a gym buddy? Are you a gym freak? Whatever the case is, own that identity. Own the identities that allow you to benefit and grow from them. There's no point in you calling yourself chubby or fat or whatever the case is, or insecure, or I don't get any respect. And the only way you can do that is by understanding how to recreate scenarios in your head where you see both outcomes being played and you choose the one that actually favors you. The truth of the matter is this: you can be 100% right and still lose 100% of the authority. Why? Because it's never about being right. It's always about being stable whilst whatever's happening is unwinding. Now, if this video has helped you, I'd love for you to share in the comments what you gain from it. If you're interested in working with me on a one-to-one basis, the link is in the bio. And guys, looks like we're done for this day, and I'll see you in the next one.